All right, Brandon, let's start with you. This has been a nice, I don't want to call it a surprise, but it's nice to see the Packers back in the conversation. How scary is this Green Bay offense when you got Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur, these two sort of clicking the way they have been?
Extremely scary, Jenna. But you know what else is nice to see is Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if it was just me, but last night watching the game, it seemed after every single play Aaron Rodgers was smiling. When's the last time we saw that, right? I mean, we got to go back to before Matt LaFleur came in. There was a lot of talk about this guy's uncoachable. There was a lot of talk about Matt LaFleur coming in and getting this guy in check. So when you look at their record, did they have success? Yes. But when you see Aaron Rodgers happy and then really embracing this offense and leading this team to a potential championship, you got to think about the moment last year when Aaron Rodgers was like, okay, this guy's coming in to put me in check. I'm a Super Bowl champion. I'm an MVP. So you got to think about how that dynamic played out. So last year seemed like, X's and O's was clicking, but the chemistry wasn't there. And them having a year to build, them having this offseason to really break down this offense and Aaron Rodgers really give his input, it's showing that it's going a long way. I just think about Aaron Rodgers outside of the locker room, off of the field, being totally comfortable, and you're seeing that. If these guys can continue to build this relationship and click on all cylinders, this is a scary Packers team, Kevin.
And, Brandon, I'll take it a step further. There's a great NBA quote, David Fizdale, take that for data. And I feel like this whole year so far has been Aaron Rodgers saying, take that for regression. There was a lot of smart people that said the Packers were a bad 13-3 team. They were a team that the record said they were good, but Rodgers wasn't playing at a very high level the last few years. I know you heard the same things. Some of those folks on Inside the NFL alongside you were saying some of those same things. And that if there was a team primed to take a big step backwards from a 13-win season, it was Green Bay, because they didn't have all the pieces that a great team typically does. So how did they overcome that? When they didn't really participate in free agency, they are getting no production at all from their first, second, or third round pick. So how'd they do it? Oh, they acquired vintage Aaron Rodgers. They got 2015 Aaron Rodgers. They got peak of his powers Aaron Rodgers. And if you have that, everyone is in trouble. And Brandon, I want to throw it back to you quickly here. The other thing that was on full display last night is we're all kind of learning how, not bubble ball, but how era of pandemic football with no fans in the stands or limited fans in the stands is going to work. And Aaron Rodgers' hard count in these dead quiet stadiums is a superpower. I mean, you saw him draw them off sides. You saw him get the free play. And, I mean, that's almost more valuable in an empty stadium than in a home stadium where there's still kind of the murmur of the crowd. So he's going to be able to do that. He seems to be feeling great. He knows the offense. He did it last night without Davante Adams. Brandon, it feels like he's just clicking on every single cylinder right now.
100%. I mean, and for me, it's less about Aaron Rodgers. You can have 200,000 people in the stands, and he's going to perform at a high level. He's just that type of talent. He's that type of guy. It's about the guys around him. You just talked about not having his number one guy, Adams, involved last night. And to me, it's for those guys. Like, think about those young, talented wide receivers. There's a lot that you have to deal with going into a game. You're going into New Orleans. You want to see Bourbon Street. You want to walk into that stadium and it's rocking. You got people with beads on. They don't have to deal with that. It's all about football for them, and that's why you're seeing these guys perform at a high level. Last year, without Adams, when he had that toe issue, these guys looked like they were young. They looked like they were rookies. They looked like they were playing bad. They were playing bad. So, Kevin, I enjoyed watching Aaron Rodgers last night. This is only going to get scarier.
Brandon, you know what I've enjoyed about working with you? You were a great player, but you're not afraid to get distracted a little bit. You were talking about going to MetLife Stadium, you saw the fireworks, you're like, oh, fireworks. And now people with beads on, you're in the stadium like, oh, a guy wearing beads. Check it out. Like, get focused, Brandon. Brandon, get focused. Nick,
that's a big deal.
I'm
You
not
got to
the-
think about that.
You too,
There's a lot that goes on
No, I
before the
know.
game.
Oh, the hurricanes, the big drink. It's such a tall glass.
all of it.
Yeah, so you know.
Nick, I'm not quite ready to offer an official apology to the Packers, but I am in the Hallmark section, the apology section. I'm flicking through the cards here. We were just killing them for these draft picks that you mentioned. They're like, you got to give him weapons. He needs weapons now. They look fine. They put up 43, 42, and 37 last night. These weapons look fantastic. It's not even counting Adams. So, like, are you ready to say, hey, maybe this draft wasn't as big of a disaster as we were making it out to be earlier this year?
Oh, absolutely not. No. Because the problem wasn't that they didn't draft a wide receiver. The problem was they traded up in the first round to draft a player they hope never sees the field. And then in the second round, they drafted essentially a rich man's fullback. And in the third round, they drafted an H-back, Josiah DeGuara. So, like, those three players, Love, Dillon, and DeGuara, have combined for less than 50 yards on the season. And Love, of course, is going to continue to be, a game day inactive. So they are doing this despite the fact that they're not getting impact from the first-round picks. And I already know, Jenna, the narrative is going to become, and we saw a little bit of it last week, oh, they spent that first-round pick on Jordan Love because what they were purchasing is Aaron Rodgers anger, Aaron Rodgers focus.
Vintage Aaron
That
Rodgers.
is revisionist media manipulation.
That's already out there,
It's
Nick.
nonsense.
Nick,
right.
that's
But they draft.
Nick, that's already.
I know
that's
it is,
already out
Brandon.
there,
It's crazy. It is a way to justify what is going to look like an unjustifiable pick.
You're right, but who cares? Look at the Aaron Rodgers that we all get to be entertained by now, week in and week out. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.